Kent State men's basketball took on the Akron Zips in their anticipated rivalry matchup Friday night. We have the breakdown of what went wrong for the Golden Flashes.
Texas Tech took on the Kansas Jayhawks in a close nail-biter of a game. We'll take a look at that game and some more college hoops.
And the Cleveland Cavaliers headed to Boston to take on Jason Tatum and the defending champion Celtics. Find out how the Cavs were able to come out victorious Friday night as a brand new Sports Corner comes your way right now. From the Franklin Hall studio on the campus of Kent State University, this is Sports Corner. Alongside Liv Sharp, I'm Matt Carali, and Liv, in the midst of all the madness that this month of March brings, as this is our first show of March, gymnastics team here at Kent State has had quite the weekend.
Yeah, that's right. They clinched a share of the regular season conference title for the second year in a row. And
they did so by going into Bowling Green and taking down the Falcons in a tri-match along with Wilberforce. Kent State put up a team score of 195.175, giving them their 11th regular season title in program history. They have the opportunity to claim the championship outright and finish conference play a perfect 6-0 when they host Ball State Sunday at 1 o'clock.
The Flashes ended their weekend with a close win against Indiana State as they closed out the Keith LeClaire Classic. Sophomore starting pitcher Jacob Bean got his first win of the season. Bean pitched for 6 innings with 4 strikeouts. At the plate, Hayden Jotzak continued his hot streak, going 2 for 3 on the day with 3 runs and 2 RBIs. After getting ahead early, the Sycamore scored 4 runs in the top of the 7th to cut Kent State's lead down to 1 run. The Flashes were able to hold down the fort as they took Indiana State down 6-5. Kent State is back at Schoonover Stadium on March 4th as they take on Mercyhurst.
Kent State softball traveled to Chapel Hill this weekend to play Harvard on Sunday. Junior Carly Penner recorded a complete game victory to lead the Flashes to a 6-1 win. This is only her 3rd pitching appearance of the year, but managed to keep the Crimson scoreless through 5 innings with 3 strikeouts. Kent State will remain here in Ohio to play in the Ohio State Tournament on March 8th and 9th.
Sophomore Janae Tyler recorded her first career double-double on Saturday against Akron. Tyler scored 21 points while shooting 8 for 14 from range. She also got a career-high 12 rebounds. Junior Deanna Gray matched her career-high in assists for the 2nd game in a row with 9. And finally, senior Bridget Dunn recorded her 17th double-digit rebounding performance of the season. The Flashes toppled the Zips 64-44 for their 6th straight win. Kent State travels to Bowling Green on Wednesday.
All right, now taking things to James A. Rhodes Arena in Akron Friday. Kent State and the Zips. Jalen Sullinger from Von Cameron Davis gives the lead for Akron, now cut within 2 at 7-5. A few minutes later, a 10-5 Akron lead. Zips trying to go inside, and they will, with Amani Lyles laying it in traffic. It's 12-5 Zips. There was a lot of this defensively for Akron, making life frustrating for Kent State. You see that from Jamal Selman. It's 39-32 Kent State, however, at the break. Start of the second half, another 3 from Sullinger. He had 19 points on the night. It's 42-32 Kent State. Later on, Cloran Hornbeek gets the miss, looking to go inside, backing down his defender, puts up the hook shot, and 1. He will make the free throw. Kent State leads at 56-52. Over 5 to go, however, Tavari Johnson with the step-back 3 to cut the Kent State lead to 1. He had 16 points on the evening, and with a minute and a half left, Akron up 3, it's going to become 5. Lyles on the dunk. Akron wins it 77-72. Zips clinch the MAC regular season title. Here's head coach Rob Senderoff saying he doesn't want to see them in round 1.
I hope we don't play them on Thursday and hope that we get an opportunity to play them again. And if we do play them on Thursday, then I do think this game will give us confidence that if we do play them on Thursday, well, you know, we have the ability to compete with them.
All right, so Liv, can you tell us why that's so important? Because I think a lot of our audience could get confused by why they would want to play them later in the tournament as opposed to right out the jump.
Well, we know, for at least on the men's side of things, the MAC tournament is 3 days back to back to back. You got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and it is a tough run. Some of these games start as early as 9 in the morning and go as late as 9 p.m. at night. So I think for the Flashes, in order to continue to set confidence in the tournament and to even make it past the first round, they don't want to see Akron, because right now it seems like Akron is the team that has their number. Every other team they've managed to continue to stay competitive against, they've won those games, but with Akron, somehow it seems like for the case of the first game, they never had a shot at all, or for this game, they had it within their grasp, and those last 5 minutes it simply evaporated. Now, a lot of people are taking this statement, kind of out of context, thinking that Senderoff might be scared to face Akron. I don't think that's the case at all. I think he just wants his team to get one win under their belt to build their confidence going into the championship and the semifinals. It's not a great omen that they've lost twice in the regular season, but when we go back to look at last year, Kent State also lost to Akron twice. This is their 5th straight loss, and aside from a last-minute blunder, they were inches away from beating Akron in that MAC championship. So I don't think this is any reason to kind of sound the alarm. I just think Senderoff wants more from his team earlier in the tourney.
Yeah, and he talked about how he noticed improvement from the last time they
absolutely.
played. That was on January 31st. 85-71 was the final. This one, obviously, a 5-point game. But it just kind of get the feeling that they're going to be all right in terms of not letting this game harp over them. Senderoff is in year 14 here at Kent State. 2 losses to Akron isn't really going to have him lose sleep, especially at this point in his career, and especially with the fact that the MAC tournament is right around the corner, literally in a few weeks.
Literally in just a few weeks. We head on to spring break, and those boys head up to Cleveland. So we're definitely very close to it, and I think that this loss paired with the Toledo win, I think you're really not going to go into the tournament feeling so dejected. I know last season they went in on kind of a rut. We weren't even sure if they were going to make it. They went on as the 8th seed. They are going to make it again this year, and I don't see them falling to the 8th seed. I mean, right now I believe they're in 4th place, and they've still got a few more games to go, and those games are ones that they could easily win. So I think going into Cleveland, they're going to have confidence, and I definitely appreciate that. The loss to Akron was hard, but what a lot of people are neglecting to realize is they led Akron, the #1 team of the MAC, the team of the MAC that has one conference loss, for 29 minutes.
In their house, too.
Exactly, in their house, in the Jar. And let me tell you, that was my first visit to the Jar. I was there at the game. It is deafening. So the fact that they managed to silence those AK rowdies, at least for a modicum of time, is incredibly impressive.
At Western on Tuesday, or home against Eastern Michigan on Friday, and then it's off to Cleveland. And especially with the fact that there are players that have seen constant improvement, because that's what he talked about in the presser that we didn't air. Especially from Jamal Sumlin, Marquise Barnett, and Delrico Gillespie. For Sumlin, scored at least 17 and 8 straight. Barnett scored 20 plus in 5 of the last 7. And for Gillespie, he has scored a minimum of 28 in the last 3 games. So you're not really relying on Jalen Sullinger or Von Cameron Davis or Claron Hornbeek, those guys that have been here before, to score the basketball. Now it's becoming more spread out, and that could be dangerous for teams in the MAC.
Oh, it absolutely can. And what I think impressed me the most is in that first half, Akron was really struggling because Kent State locked down James Okonkwo. He is the 2nd leading rebounder in the MAC, and he all but disappeared in that first half. Now, towards the end of the game, those last 5 minutes, which will live in infamy, he picked up a couple layups and a few offensive rebounds. But the fact that they managed to get him for, I can't do the math, but 5 out of 40 minutes, that was all that he managed to spring loose. It was really quite impressive. And like you said, those guys like Gillespie, we're seeing more from Sumlin, we're seeing more from them, and it's going to be hard for Akron to game plan against them because as much film as you have, you only have had 1 game against them now. And we've seen tremendous growth from those guys throughout the month of February. And also with Sullinger's leadership. Senderoff also spoke on that. That also was something that I feel like we really need to talk about because Sullinger has emerged as a leader from this team. And considering that we've seen him since he was a very shy sophomore, it's quite impressive to see how he's grown into a leader.
Yeah, we'll see how it all goes down in about a couple weeks.
I know. Get excited, folks. Well, Sports Corner will travel from campus to campus as we take a look at college basketball with March Madness just on the horizon.
We know you work hard, so come spend your lunch with us at the Bistro on Main. We've been serving the community for 3 generations. Only a quick 10-minute drive from Kent State's campus. Make your breaks count at the Bistro on Main, where friends become family.
Can you help me? that then?
Will you help my mom?
Hey, crew, I'll give the first move to anyone who signs up to be an organ donor. How do you do it?
Easy. Just go to organdonor.gov.
More donors means more hope. Sign up at organdonor.gov.
I got you.
Oh, yeah, I got him.
That stupid controller froze again.
You're only saying that because you're losing.
Bet you bought the cheap one.
My controller is junk too. Is this even real?
You're spending less, so...
Yeah? We'll just buy it again?
Smart kids.
Who are you?
Or what are you?
Hey, I was wondering if you guys wanted any... OMG, it's McGruff.
Yes, I am.
He's not my Uncle McGruff, the crime dog. He's an imposter. He's a fake.
I am McGruff, the crime dog. He is the fake. And so is that controller you're holding. It's gonna break. And that, Pops...
Could blow up in your face.
That's right, Scruff. Let's take a bite out of crime together and protect ourselves against fakes. Like him.
Who says you're not the fake?
Dude, you're literally missing an arm.
You are smart kids. You're smart. Buy smart.
Well, March Madness is quickly approaching. We will travel from campus to campus and break down the most recent collegiate games. We start things down south. Texas A&M visiting the Florida Gators down in the Sunshine State. Let's get to the action. Pharrell Payne with a defender against his back, spins around it and flips it up and in. It's a cross-court pass to Alex Condon, who elevates for the slam dunk, and the Gators faithful are up on their feet. They love to see the big man getting after it like that. The Gators poke it away. Denzel Aberdeen gets the rock, sets up Thomas House, who tips it in. The number 3 ranked team is up 4 against the Aggies. We've got some full court press here from Florida. Anderson Garcia finds Payne, who is all alone right there at the baseline, and he gets a two-hand jam to cut the lead to 5. Now it's Wade Taylor IV, hurls the ball in midair. Solomon Washington in the air, gets the bucket. Look at the replay. Just stellar body awareness for him to manage to get that basket. We've got another Washington play, but it's not the one you'd expect. He'll clean up the rebound off the 3 and gets the slam. Aggies now down 11. Will Richard gets set, and Garcia bats it away. Goes coast to coast for the slam. Great job getting his paw up there to get the steal. Here on out, it is all Gators. Condon off the bench with an emphatic dunk right there. Take a look. He had 11. Half with some great defense. He's going to get a steal and a one-hand slam. There's nothing better than that. Take a look. He had some incredible plays on the night. He had 17. Florida routs Texas A&M by a final score of 89-70.
All right, college basketball game of the week. Number 6 Alabama, number 5 Tennessee. That's Vols head coach Rick Barnes ready for battle. Second half, Alabama up by 8. Chaz Lanier will pull up from mid-range. It's now 64-58. In a one-possession game, Mark Sears going inside with the contested lay. Sears had 24 on the evening. Under 7 to go. How about Zakai Ziegler? Double Z nails it from 3 off the backboard, and we're tied at 66. Next, Vols possession. This is Jordan Gainey, the floater, the bucket as it circles in, and it's 68 all. A minute 15 left. Off a Tennessee turnover, here comes the Tide. And how about LeBaron Philon on the all-name team for Sportscorner? He lays it in 75-72. 36 seconds left. Ziegler gets it out to Lanier, driving inside, and 1. He'll miss the free throw, however. Lanier had 18 points, so with 3.8 seconds left, Tennessee has one more chance. Tie game at 76. Jamai Meshack will launch it from deep, and holy Rocky Top it goes! The third Saturday of October, more like the first Saturday of March, with the drama between the Crimson Tide and the Volunteers. The shot is good, and the Vols win it at home, 79-76. Oh my goodness.
My gosh, that was a spectacular shot. But hey, this is a good one too. Number 14 Missouri against unranked Vanderbilt. Chris Mannion corrals the ball, hits Devin McLaughlin. Call him 007 for that shot. McLaughlin finishes and gets 2 on the other side of the court. This is the ensuing possession. Mannion gets the steal, gets an assist from Glockton, bounce pass right back, and Mannion gets the layup off the glass. Mark Mitchell led the Mizzou Tigers in scoring, and here's 2 of those points. Mitchell fights his way into the paint, gets the bucket, and the foul. A.J. Hoggard in the paint, dishes it to Jason Edwards outside the arc. That's a tray. He had 17 on the night. MJ Collins, he's going to come soaring into the paint here, and look out below. You're going to want to watch out for that man. He flies in for the layup, and the Commodores take the lead, but the Tigers are fighting back. Anthony Robinson, the second step back. Three. That one is smooth as butter. Tyler Nickel misses the three. He gets the rebound out to him, tries again, and this one is good. Now we are tied at 69. Jalen Carey backing up against big fella Mitchell's, and now the unranked Commodores are keeping this one competitive. No one really expected this. Seconds ticking down. Vandy down three. Nickel from outside the arc. That's good. We're tied at 81. We're headed to overtime. Look at the replay. Huggard finds his guy. Nickel shot 50% from outside the arc. And we get bonus basketball, folks. Huggard's got 3 defenders on him, but he still gets the jumper to fall. And the Vanderbilt student section smells an upset coming, and they will get one. One last triple from Edwards, and the Commodores upset the Tigers in overtime, 97-93.
Taking down the likes of Tennessee and Missouri in the span of a month or two. It's awesome. Number 10, Texas Tech taking on Kansas. The Red Raiders are looking for their second all-time win in Allen Fieldhouse, and they will start with a Kevin Overton 3 to go up 16-11. A few minutes later, DeJuan Harris Jr. comes up with the steal, and it will run the floor and gets it out to Flory Bidunga for the dunk. 21-17, the lead is cut now to 4. A 1-point game. JT Toppin of the Red Raiders will lay it up and in off the glass. And then with under 6 in the first half, JT Toppin again. And then on the next Raider possession, JT Toppin again. He had 21 on the night. It is 32-27. First half winding down. Christian Anderson in the A in Allen Fieldhouse. It's an 11-point halftime Texas Tech lead. Later on in the second half, KJ Adams plus the foul. He'll make his free throw. Later in the half, Christian Anderson to Elijah Hawkins in transition at 68-63. Less than 3 minutes to play. Hunter Dickinson comes up with the steal. And here come the Jayhawks looking to make this a one-possession game. And it's Adams off the hoop. 21 points for him with that two-handed flush. 20 seconds left. Kansas, however, with a chance to tie. Zeke Mayo. Could he play the role of hero at home against the Red Raiders trying to upset? No, we can't. That's it. Texas Tech will nail down 2 more free throws and win it 78-73. They are 2-22
that last
all-time in Lawrence.
Kind of looked like me at the rec. Anyways.
Yeah, that looks like me when I have a hand in my face like this, just on any shot.
Yeah.
All right, so going into college basketball, the SEC has 4 schools in the top 10.
Can you believe that?
I don't.
No.
And to be honest, the way that the SEC has been going, I think it would be more.
Oh, absolutely. Well, right now, if everything ended today, there would be 13 teams from the SEC in March Madness. And I don't know the odds. I'm not great at math, but I think that gives them pretty good odds for having someone make it to the Final Four, make it to the championship, and possibly even win. Right now, they have some solid teams who could be the number 1 seeds. We're looking at Auburn, Bama, and Florida will be the number 1 seeds, as well as Texas and Texas A&M. Tennessee and Texas A&M. It's likely that they're going to set the record for the most teams into March Madness.
Yeah.
And I'm not great at kind of predicting March Madness, but at least based on odds, it seems like we're going to have some SEC teams make it pretty far and pretty deep.
Yeah, I honestly think Auburn, who's sitting at number 1, is going to go all the way.
Really?
I think it's kind of inevitable because they're so good all around. The depth there, I think, is the strongest in college basketball, and they're led by Bruce Pearl, who took them there in 2019 in the Final Four and was about a game away from winning the title, and I just think that this is their year. So with that being said, Duke, they're number 2.
They are.
They've been a real talk of the town with Cooper Flagg.
I know.
And I'm going to be honest, I could see them getting bounced in the Elite 8.
Really? Okay, so the reason I kind of would lean to agree with you is because I think they might run into a lights to bright situation. They have a very young team. We've seen that, but it's a very talented team with Flagg, who's going to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. Con Knipple as well. They're very talented, but when you get to the big dance, I truly don't know how they're going to go. They really haven't had a lot of ranked matchups so far. It's been a really weak ACC season, so they really have to prove themselves in this tournament, but I agree with you. The Elite 8 might be the ceiling for Duke this year.
Yeah, and it's just the fact that I think Cooper Flagg is seemingly just the guy on the roster.
Yeah.
It feels like he's the only one playing out there. They haven't won a title since 2015, and it's just going to be something that they're going to have to take into consideration. Can that bench step up? Real quick, dark horse team, mid-major preferably, because we're a mid-major school, to make a run in the tournament?
Akron, just kidding. We don't want to wish them in the tournament. But for me, I picked UC San Diego. 22-4 Tritons. They have a really great win against Utah State. That's a really big resume builder. And honestly, for their first year being eligible for the tournament, they're making some noise. And I could see them going, a decent way.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
All right, a top 10 team in the West against a squad looking to be on the come-up. We give you the down-to-the-wire finish between the Spurs and Grizzlies from Memphis.
Hey, I'm worried about your parents. We need to show them how to spot phishing emails.
Agree, the scammers are out of control.
And we need to show them how to use a password manager. Plus, help them add multi-factor authentication.
Yes, we use MFA at work and it's great. Great cake. I'll use MFA to verify my purchase. Software update? Done. Time to celebrate.
For more information on how to keep yourself and those you care about safe online, go to cisa.gov/secure-our-world.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine, and I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and Mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero. Good job, kitty cat. When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
Welcome back, everybody. We had another weekend of NBA basketball as the season's in full swing, and teams are trying to clinch playoff spots. And we'll start in Memphis, where the 2-seed Grizzlies in the West are taking on the San Antonio Spurs out in Tennessee. There's a look at De'Aaron Fox. He was traded to the Spurs at midseason. We'll pick it up first quarter. Grizzlies up 1, and for San Antonio, Devin Vassell will pull up and nail it to give the Spurs the lead back. Second quarter, Spurs up big, and folks, Stephon Castle going inside, and the rim might need to go on the injury report after that one. Check it out, 77-58 Spurs at half. In the third quarter, Jaren Jackson Jr., you'll hear his name a lot in this one. Off the turnover, he's wide open seemingly on the wing, and he knocks it down at 77-65 Spurs. Memphis gets it down to 5. Jackson trying to work in the paint. Tough floater. Good. It's a one-possession game. In the fourth, Spurs now with it. Up 3, and Castle is simply crazy with that layup. He had 24 points. It's 105-100. A 10-point Spurs lead now. De'Aaron Fox going inside. Layup off the window. He had 20. 119-107 Spurs. Over 5.5 to go. Jackson for 3, and it goes. This guy could be the 6th man of the year in the NBA. With under 30 seconds, Jackson down 3, hoist, and off the glass, he gets it to go. He had 42 points, and we're tied at 128. However, Spurs have the ball, final seconds winding down. Fox, step back, you know it. Spurs swipe one, thanks to the Fox, as San Antonio wins it 131-28, and the Spurs snap a 4-game losing streak.
Good evening, Portage County. The dog days of March are here, and the playoffs are only a month and a half away, so join me as Sportscorner goes around the NBA, starting with, of course, one of the biggest games of the weekend, the Cleveland Cavaliers traveling to Boston to take on the defending champion, Boston Celtics. Well, the Celtics, they would get pretty hot early, building a 25-3 lead, including this 3 from Jaylen Brown, who finished with 37 points on the night, but ladies and gentlemen, a Cavalanche would come in. Ty Jerome, He hits back-to-back threes to put the Cavs within single digits. And at the end of the first, Jason Tatum, what a game he had. 46, 19, and 9, including this, and 1 over 3 defenders. All right, let's take things to the second quarter. Donovan Mitchell, hey, he had another pretty good game. 41 points on the night, a deep 3. Hey, get used to hearing that one. Jaylen Brown was the only other Celtic to really do a whole lot, 37 points as well. And Darius Garland, a little tough layup there. And of course, Mitchell just trying to get in. He can dunk too, he's not that short. He's only 6'2" as well. Well, he'd also want to hit this little PNR 3. And we take things, well, in the third quarter, he just keeps it coming. He just will not let the team go. He actually averages the most points against the Celtics all time, with 31 points per game. Keep that in mind come playoff time. Making a comeback. The Cavs, they would end up coming back, and Mobley, he gave him the 3, take the lead. Mitchell, his 41 points, giving the Cavs the lead. And Darius Garland, looking at, oh, look at that. He ices the game, and the Cavs go on to win 123-116. Cavs tie the regular season series with the Celtics. Liv, take it away.
Let's head down to the Sunshine State, where the Orlando Magic are hosting the Toronto Raptors. We pick things up tied at 12. RJ Barrett feeds Jamal Shead in the corner, and he drops a tray. We jump ahead to the second. Paolo Banchero gets a bounce pass, steps, and he's gonna net a jumper. Time is winding down in the second. Franz Wagner with a nasty Euro step, and he rolls it off his fingertips for 2. On the other side of the break, Barrett stutters stepping into the paint. He had 22 points on the night. Cole Anthony with just simply a bad pass, and Jonathan Magbo intercepts it and throws the hammer down to extend the lead. Watch the replay. Anthony tried in vain to stop the big fella, but Magbo would not be denied. Banchero trying to play hero here for Orlando. He makes the driving layup. Now it's Emmanuel quickly. He's gonna shake off a defender and hits the layup off the glass, and 6 seconds left in the third. It's quickly once again. He gets the floater plus the foul. He was looking for the call, and yes, he did get it. And the Raptors end the third up by 9. Scotty Barnes outside the arc, dishes to Jakob Poeltl. Hello! That'll wake the crowd up. Toronto up big time over the Magic, but Orlando fights their way back to bring the lead within single digits. Banchero driving, gets the layup plus the foul. Final chance for the Magic. Wagner misses the layup, and Toronto corrals the ball and escapes Florida with a win, 104-102.
Well, we take things to Crypto.com Arena as the Clippers take on the Lakers for the 4th game of their 4-game regular season series. Luka Doncic, a deep 3. Lakers taking a lead early. Norman Powell potentially going to win the Most Improved Player award. Luka Doncic, he got fouled, but he did airball the shot pretty badly. Was a double team though. James Harden, well, Kawhi Leonard, I should say, doing what he does best, a PNR 3. He had no assists on the game, shouldn't be surprised. LeBron James with a pass to Jackson Hayes for the dunk. Take a look at this. Oh, hit the ground pretty hard. He was okay though, don't worry about him. And in the third period, Luka Doncic, a step back 3. He just could not be stopped. He had 29 points for the game, including over James Harden, the guy who pretty much made a career out of those step back 3s. His dad is loving it. Once again, Kawhi Leonard, oh, and 1, plus the finish. Looking at him. He had 33 points on the game. And Dalton Connect, hey, a little Lakers hero here. He had 19 points. And Kawhi Leonard, again, trying to make a comeback here. And Luka Doncic, he got his pocket picked. Chris Dunn trying to go coast to coast, but, oh, he got blocked. Let's take a look at the replay, though, for a sec. Ball goes up. It appears, oh, was it a goaltend? I'll let you guys be the judge. Didn't matter. The Lakers win 108-102.
All right, so we were going to ask who the MVP is that we all think, but on the count of 3, because I think we're all going to have the same answer. Let's say it. 1, 2, 3.
SGA Gilgeous-Alexander.
Perfect. Okay. All right, so now moving on.
Too.
Yes, Jay.
What do you guys think would be a player that has been underappreciated and should be considered, or at least given some more love in this NBA season?
I got to give it to Jason Tatum right now. Listen, the guy is having the best season of his career. 27, 9, and 6. listen, his off and off numbers are just, they look so good as well. I mean, listen, all I got to say is the Celtics do not look good without him on the court right now. They're really struggling to find playmaking. They don't really have a lot of great shot creation. Their offense just doesn't look great when they run it through Jaylen Brown. He really needs to be the secondary shot creator, not really that primary guy. And at the end of the day, I do think he is going to end up being third in this race. That's not to say that I think he will win it, obviously. It's probably going to be either Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Nikola Jokic, who, by the way, he is averaging a triple-double. We can't forget about him. But Liv, do you potentially have a dark horse candidate?
I do, yeah. I mean, it would be weird to say that Jokic is kind of a dark horse pick, so I kind of won't go there because it feels like SGA winning is sort of a foregone conclusion. But for me, maybe this is just because I'm watching these games all the time, but Donovan Mitchell, guys, I mean, this obviously isn't the best season of his career by any standards, but he's averaging 24.3 points a game. I think what's most impressive to me, and you mentioned this during your highlight, how handily he is playing against these teams like the Celtics, the defending NBA championship. He is averaging, he's doing very well against them. He did very well against the Thunder. So, I mean, I think he should be getting some love, but, I mean, certainly I understand why he's not in the discussion.
So, real quick, because I know we have to go soon, and we thank you, Michael, in advance. I'll go, as we sit here now, I think people will talk about him later. DeAndre Hunter. He has been such a big accusation for Cleveland in terms of them elevating their game and making sure that they could be possibly in the NBA Finals and potentially winning it. So in terms of them trying to will that team and be that kind of like third player for Cleveland, or fourth, depending on how you look at it, with Evan Mobley, he could be the guy. He could be the guy. So Michael, we appreciate it again. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Well, in the NHL, the league saw two teams take to the elements on Saturday. The highlights from Red Wings and Blue Jackets in Ohio Stadium ahead.
Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare.
Umergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. Umergency provides instant access to vital resources, customized to your student's campus and local community, digital consent form, and built-in urgent alert button. Umergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your Umergency app now.
Illicit fentanyl is the deadliest drug threat that our nation has ever experienced. We lost Leo when he was only 19, killed by fentanyl he didn't even know he was taking. He was my heart, my son.
My grandson. I wish you could have met him. Such a beautiful young man. Kind, smart, funny, sweet, a great kid.
Go to ladrfoundation.org to join us in the fight against fentanyl.
Thank
you.
Hey, I'm worried about your parents. We need to show them how to spot phishing emails.
Agreed, the scammers are out of control.
Plus, help them add multi-factor authentication.
Yes, we use MFA at work and it's great. Software update? Done. Time to celebrate.
For more information on how to keep yourself and those you care about safe online, go to cisa.gov/secure-our-world.
Is it okay over there? Is that good?
Jackie boy, look, we have been through a lot together.
Hurry up before this rain, this rain goes away.
Well, it's just,
In the NHL, the Pittsburgh Penguins are looking to right the ship against the Toronto Maple Leafs at home Sunday. And hold on to your hats, because this one was an absolute barn burner. To PPG Paints Arena we go. Maple Leafs and Penguins. Early first, 1-0 Toronto, make it 2-0 Maple Leafs as Connor Timmins puts it in top right corner, and it's 2-0 Leafs. We are tied at 2 in the middle of the first period, and how about, well, he's not much a kid anymore, but Sid the Kid puts it in the back of the net. It's 3-2 Pens through 1. We will now go to the second period now, all even at 3. Ryan Rust, another veteran on this Penguins squad, with a nice move. We'll check it out again for you. To this one gives the Penguins lead 4-3. Nice backhand shot there. And tied at 4 with seconds winding down. Matthew Nyes puts it in. We can take a look at the clock. It is in just as it goes. 5-4 Toronto through 2. But in the third period, Pittsburgh ties it up as they're now in overtime. William Nylander wins it for the Leafs on the road. 6-5 in overtime, the final, as Toronto comes into Pittsburgh and takes down the Pens.
We head out to Utah, where the hockey club is hosting the New Jersey Devils. Let's get right into the action. Right out of the gate, a shot's going to get blocked, but Nico Hischier gets the puck, passes it to Luke Hughes, half of the Hughes brother. He circles, passes the net, and Hischier will be the one right there to bat it in. Take a second look there. Hischier is surrounded by defensemen, but he still gets it in, and Devils are up 1-0. Now Utah's on offense. Mikhail Sergachev from one knee into the net. The D-man proposes a tie game in the second period. Face off to start the third, and the Devils waste no time. They trade possession back and forth with Utah, and it ends with Timo Meier, who gets a goal off of the snapshot. Take a look here. Dawson Mercer swipes it to Meier, and Karel Vejmelka barely had time to get ready. Jersey is up 2-1. Bartender, top shelf. Jack Hughes with possession sees Curtis Laser in place, and that snapshot will end it, and the Devils take down Utah 3-1.
We're going to wrap things up in Columbus as the Blue Jackets took on the Detroit Red Wings as a part of the Stadium Series. We go to the second as it was 0-0, and it would be Denton Matejchuk scoring the first goal for the Jackets. This game, a meaningful one for the wild card race. We go later in the second, tied 1-1. It would be Dmitry Voronkov scoring the power play goal, and very quickly after, it would be Matthew Olivier putting the Jackets up 3-1, but Detroit would not go quietly as they are trying to stay in this playoff hunt, as Patrick Kane with a missile to get the puck past Elvis Merzlikins to make it 3-2. Here later in the third, though, the Red Wings would look to knot it up, and they would, as Alex DeBrincat would score his second goal of the game, extending his point streak to 9 games. Red Wings, Jackets all tied up, but this would be the controversial play of the day, but with the potential game winner, as Justin Danforth would get it in on a 2 effort. We're going to look back here. A potential high sticking as he kind of rakes his stick across the face of the Red Wings player. Gets it past Cam Talbot, not on the first try, but the second try, and it would make it 4-3. Empty netter here, and would you look at that, a Michigan player performing well in Ohio State Stadium. Adam Fantilli scoring the 5th goal for the Jackets, 5-3. Columbus takes this one over the Red Wings.
Somehow, some way, it always comes back to the rivalry. Huh?
Oh, yes.
Always. You had to get that little dig in
Of course I did.
That was good.
That
was good.
So the trade deadline is this week in the NHL, and this can determine teams' outlook for the rest of the year. Who do you think are going to be buyers and sellers in the NHL?
Well, this trade deadline should be pretty exciting. Trade deadlines for every sport. Great time, very exciting. I see the team I just talked about, the Blue Jackets, being a buyer. They could use some goalie help. Elvis has been pretty good this year, but he has had some blow-up starts where the Jackets could score 4, but he'll let up 5. I see someone that they could go after being John Gibson of the Ducks. He's a 2.66 goals allowed and a 91.5 save percentage, higher than both Elvis and Daniil Tarasov. So both goalies on Columbus have worse stats compared to Gibson. I do believe Gibson has a what's it called when you can't be traded?
No trade clause.
A no trade clause, yes. And so he would have to waive that to come to Columbus. But with Anaheim being on the lower side and Columbus being on the up and up, I wouldn't be shocking to see him head to Columbus. On the other side, I have the Bruins being a very tentative seller. Brad Marchand, very hot name on the market right now, could be potentially the best player to get moved. I don't see it happening though. I think Boston, he's the guy for that team, and I see them holding on to him. He's the captain. I think they're pretty much going to get rid of anyone else except for maybe him or David Pastrnak. Anyone else would be on the table for Boston, as they are a few points out of a playoff spot right now. But we'll see. I just think they're being very careful sellers. But those are two of my bigger buyers and sellers.
Well, speaking of the playoffs, the race towards them is in full effect. Who do you see on the outside looking in that might make it in?
On the East, I see this as more potentially likely. It's hard because the Red Wings and the Blue Jackets are playing really good hockey right now. But the New York Rangers could be a team that sneaks their way in. They're 2 points behind Detroit right now. Igor Shesterkin's having kind of a down year, not playing up to par. So if he can kind of figure things out, get things going. And then Artemi Panarin, 25th in points. I know that's a long list, but you know, being top 25 is still pretty good. And then what really killed them was a 3-10 December. So as long as they can put that month behind them and just play as they had been all season, they could find their way in a wild card spot. In the West, I don't know how I feel about this team, but I have the St. Louis Blues. It really depends on if Jordan Binnington can continue his momentum from the Four Nations.
All right, well, thank you, Maddox. Appreciate it as always. Well, if you're looking to make some money this week, lock in and get ready to take some notes. Our very own Blake Galoja is here to break down your best chance at winning big. Blake?
Thanks, Matt. The calendar has flipped to March, so you know that means postseason college basketball is also here. Let's break it down and more right now on Blake's Best Bets. After being out last week, I still stand 3-0 on the season in Best Bets. Since today's date is 3-3, let's keep the threes trend going and look at who's going to be splashing from deep tonight. The red-hot Pistons travel to Utah to face the Jazz at 9 p.m. With Lauri Markkanen ruled out and Colin Sexton questionable, I am leaning toward the Jazz being down, forcing them to start launching the lawn ball. I am taking Keontae George to hit over 3.5 threes tonight. The odds on DraftKings currently sit at plus 114. George loves to launch from deep when Markkanen is out. In the last 3 games where the big man was absent, George has attempted 13, 9, and 11 three-pointers. It was extremely difficult not to choose Detroit's Malik Beasley for made threes, but he has been so hot the books have inflated his line up to 4.5. Give me Mr. Keontae George to catch fire and cash his 3.5 line. Get it at plus money while you can, as odds are subject to change. Now, as we have entered March, the madness is starting to commence in college basketball. Conference tournaments are starting up, so let's take a peek at who I'd like to win some major and mid-major tournaments. Let's start in the Big Ten, where no team has really jumped to the front of the pack. As this month begins, only 5 teams are ranked in the KenPom Top 20 for both offensive and defensive efficiency, and 4 of them are the usual suspects. The surprise? Maryland, the lone representative from the Big Ten. The Terps may lack depth, but their starting 5 is formidable, featuring standout point guard Jacoby Gillespie and Dominic Biggs, Derek Queen, and Julian Reese. Their 7 losses have come by an average of 3.9 points, so they need to learn how to win close games. Why not start now? Give me Maryland to win the Big Ten. Now, let's visit a conference closer to home. The MAC tournament does not start until March 12th, but it already seems like everyone is ready to crown the Akron Zips the winner. Unfortunately, I am part of that group, as the Zips have shown they are just above the rest of the MAC. Akron plays fast, they shoot a bunch of threes, make a bunch of threes, and score in waves. During MAC play, they made more than 61% of their shots inside the arc as well. The only team I could see stopping them are the Golden Flashes because of their stout defense, but they will need to mirror their 105-point offensive performance against Toledo if they want a shot. Nonetheless, give me Akron to once again hoist the MAC trophy in Cleveland. Now, the SEC has been the most dominant conference in college basketball this year, but who will take the crown? I really want to take Auburn, as they have been nothing short of terrific all season long, but I predict they will have some bigger fish to fry down the road. And only 3 of the past 10 national champions won their conference tournaments, which is why I think the Florida Gators will upset Auburn a second time this season and win the SEC. In conference play, only Florida has beaten Auburn, so why can't the Gators do it again? They have the size and athleticism around the rim to slow down Johnny Broome, and they're going to be physical enough on the perimeter to withstand Auburn's guards. Finally, I want to highlight the Sun Belt Tournament because I absolutely love their revamped bracket. They incentivize regular season conference play by handing out multi-week buys to the top seed. For example, the 11 and 14 seeds would have to win 7 games to take home the title, comparing to the top 2 seeds only needing 2 wins. However, I'm going to take the 4th seed in this bracket to win it all. I like Arkansas State to win because of their terrific balance on both sides of the ball. The Red Wolves lead the conference in scoring, averaging 79.4 points per game, which ranks 56th nationally. They also held the 1 seed, South Alabama, to only 60 points in their regular season meeting. Although they did lose that game 56-60, I like them to come in with a vengeance after losing their final 2 regular season games. A-State are currently the favorites to win the Sun Belt at plus 200 on DraftKings. The rest of the conferences I covered do not have odds up yet, as seeding could still be shuffled around. Let's all have a great March month of betting. Well, that's a wrap on this week's Blake's Best Bets. Stay sharp, play smart, and may the odds be ever in your favor. I'm Blake Aloja. Catch you next time. Back to Live at the Desk.
Love that little Hunger Game reference there, Blake. Well, with the rise in popularity and split in associations of pro volleyball, Jordan Hiles is here with the analysis. Hi, Jordan.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Very good.
Excited to have you.
Thank you.
So I guess what inspired the launch of professional volleyball leagues like the Pro Volleyball Federation and League One volleyball here in America?
Well, NCAA volleyball has really just skyrocketed over the years. In the 2024 national championship match between Louisville and Penn State, it saw 1.3 million viewers. And volleyball has become the third most watched college sport as of right now. And America just wanted to take things to the next level. You know, the best of the best players had no option. They only had to go overseas if they wanted to continue playing at the high level. There really wasn't anything else. So America wanted to, you know, take things to the next level and add a team of their own.
Well, how does U.S. volleyball compare to volleyball in, let's say, Europe and Asia?
Well, nothing really differs in playing wise, but, you know, America just wanted to have their players stay at home. So they started their own leagues, and it's really broken down into two different leagues, the Pro Volleyball Federation and League One Volleyball.
So how are teams structured in these leagues?
Well, Love operates at a centralized league where all the teams are owned by the league itself, and they're rather independent and franchise owners. This model is similar to how Major League Soccer initially structured its teams, allowing the league to control financiers, player contracts, and operations. All Love teams are connected to a youth volleyball club in its city so that it can create a pipeline for engagement and professional players to foster the sustainability of a fan base. And then the current teams are Atlanta, Austin, Houston, Madison, Omaha, and Salt Lake City. And then Pro Volleyball is a little bit different, and it's set up sort of how our traditional, you know, pro teams are, like the NFL, the MLB, the NBA, and it's where the owners really control their own respective teams, and they have their own business. Now, these teams don't operate, and they're separately from the youth volleyball clubs, and they solely focus on the high level of competition. And the current teams are Atlanta Vibe, our very own Columbus Fury, the Grand Rapids Rise, Omaha Supernovas, Orlando Valkyries, the San Diego Mojo, Vegas Thrill, and the Carolina Rise will be joining it next year.
Well, I mean, it seems like there's a lot of options, so how do players, you know, pick their own team?
Well, the Pro Volleyball Federation uses a draft system. So like I said, it's like the NFL, NBA, MLB. The players get drafted. And then in League One Volleyball, you sign a contract and you essentially get scouted to be on the team.
So do you think there are any changes or improvements that can make pro volleyball more popular here in the States?
Honestly, I think it should just be one league. I think the two leagues get way too confusing. Now, Love likes to take the side of the European aspect of it, like they have the funky colored jerseys and kind of more of like the European vibe, like I said. But, you know, the Pro Volleyball Federation, they changed it a little bit. They differed away from the other overseas type of thing, and they really changed it. But my favorite players and the most notable players play for League One Volleyball. And in my opinion, like I said, it just gets a little bit confusing having two different leagues, because if you want the best of the best competition, they should all be on the same team competing against each other.
Well, you mentioned a few players. Who are some, you know, notable players for people to look out for?
Well, on the Love side, like I said, they're the most notable. They've had multiple Olympians on their teams. For example, we have Jordan Larson. She was from Nebraska, and she's won multiple Olympic medals. She is the most ranked player out there right now. And similar on her team, we have Jenna Wong, and she also played at Nebraska, and she won that gold medal with Larson. And then we're going to take a look at some rookies. We have Maddie Skinner. She is on fire right now in Love. This is her first season, and she leads the entire league in kills, and she has 126 right now. And then we take a look at Lexi Rodriguez. She's Nebraska's 4-time national All-American, and she's just the best defensive player that there is.
All right, well, thanks, Jordan, for coming on to
Yeah, of
educate us
course.
about that. It means a lot. So, coming up after the break, we have our award-winning segment, Empowerment, and a new spin on Corrali Chaos.
How can you hate Star Wars?
Kung Fu Panda.
Star Wars. Star Wars.
Here for a late night walk.
Yes.
Night walks around
Yes.
campus.
I always, you know, like the swing.
Student center.
What?
Wait, care, you mean like healthcare?
Cares Center.
Student center.
Where you can get support.
Solo stage where the player spends most of it being hunted down by Infinite. The weapon that performed the best here was the Drill Wispen. Its ability to...
He finally is like, I get it now. I get it. I have worth because I'm me. Yeah, and I really liked it a lot. Like, I'm not...
What are you staring at? How do you know it's me? No.
Welcome back. We've got a first for Empowerment tonight as we're talking some NASCAR. Let's take things to the track. It was announced today that Katherine Legge will make her NASCAR Cup Series debut this weekend, becoming the first woman to compete in a Cup Series since Danica Patrick at the 2018 Daytona 500. Legge will drive the number 78 Chevrolet at the Phoenix Raceway in the Shriners Children 500. The 44-year-old England native has 5 starts in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. She has 4 career starts in the Indianapolis 500, and in 2023 set a record for fastest qualifying time by a woman and is one of only 9 women to start in the Indy 500. NASCAR has been one of the most challenging sports for women to break into since its driver's success is based on financial backing, but Legge is showing women that there is a way forward for female drivers even when they're driving for smaller teams. So congrats to Katherine, and I cannot wait to watch her race this weekend.
I'm going to crash out.
Oh no.
Welcome to Crawley Crash Out, where we crash out. Now, this has nothing to do with sports, okay? But the Oscars were last night, and since we all like numbers here, we're sports people, we like stats. Here's something that I found out last night. Diane Warren is a songwriter. She was up for Best Original Song last night. She lost, but she has written songs like If I Could Turn Back Time by Cher, and I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith. She has had 9 #1 hits and a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Lifetime, in the Best Original Song category, Diane Warren is 0 for 16 in Best Original Song at the Oscars. That is like Shaq from the 3-point line levels of bad. And the reason why I'm so upset is, listen here, Motion Picture of Academy Arts and Sciences, she is 68 years old. Who knows how much time she has? Please, Academy, if you're watching, give her one. I know she has an honorary one from 2022, but she has went 9 years in a row. The last 9 years she has been nominated, and she has not won a single one of those suckers. So please, do us all a favor and give Diane Warren an Oscar. So,
yeah, you know, because the Academy is watching Sportscorner broadcast live from Franklin Hall by Kent State Sports
we
Network.
all broadcast around the world.
I mean,
technically. So it was, so obviously with the Oscars being last night, keeping things in movie related.
You okay, bud?
We wanted to do, fine. We wanted to do something like awards, but we're going to do superlatives for athletes. So I'll give you the floor first.
Well, Matt, I hate to break it to you, but we did change the end segment.
We did?
We did. We changed it to what is the best performance by an athlete in a movie. It's okay. I'll go first. I'll ease you into this. I raise you the Green Bay Packers in Pitch Perfect 2. Now, I don't love the Packers. I never like a team who kind of feels like a bully, but they were in the riff-off of Pitch Perfect 2, and I tell you what, they were beautiful and melodic. Off the top of your head, do you think you have one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
T.C. Williams High Titans, 1971, 13-0. Unbelievable performance. Remember the Titans is the movie, in case you were worried. But, yes, they ran the table, and the best part is, it's off a true story. It's off
Matt,
a true
I don't
story.
think you understand. It was supposed to be what athlete has acted in a movie that you thought was, like, impressive.
What?
Like LeBron in Space Jam.
Oh, for God's sake. So let me rephrase. T.C. Williams Titans in 1971. Remember the Titans. It was a movie. They performed well.
Were they real people?
Yes!
No, but did the real Titans be in Remember the Titans?
What the what in the huh?
Were the real Titans actors in Remember the Titans?
No, but still.
No, that's the question. The question is what athlete
stands. T.C. Williams Titans, 1971.
Okay, whatever. Matt's making his own end segment now. To the couch.
Yeah, let's go there. Michael, we'll start with you.
Matt, I also remember the Titans. I just want to let you know you're not alone there.
Thanks.
but I got to give it to Kevin Garnett in Uncut Gems.
Oh,
I mean, that was such a good performance. He played himself, first of all. So, you know, I do have to mention that part. But even then, like, just actors don't always do that well in movies. I mean, just look at Michael Jordan's Space Jam. I'm sorry to say it, but he just
no. We're not doing Space Jam.
He needs to take acting classes. I'm sorry. It
You need
just
to take
wasn't
acting classes.
that great. No, I'm not an actor. I don't need to. Sorry, Lev.
Jordan, what
but you
about
know,
you?
Jordan, I'd love to know, who do you think is the best acting performance by an athlete?
I gotta give it to the best Disney movie that there is. And it's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in Moana.
Yeah.
And the live action movie is coming out this summer, I think, and I'm so excited to see him with hair.
Yeah.
Not the best Disney movie, but it's okay. It's not.
We're not doing this.
It's
Just
not.
say your pick.
Okay, my pick is Dave Bautista in Guardians of the Galaxy franchise as Drax.
Good pick.
I think out of the wrestlers, out of John Cena, Dwayne Johnson, and Batista, he is the best actor, with John Cena as second and The Rock is third. There's a big gap between John Cena and The Rock.
I'm gonna stick with fighter. I'm gonna go Mike Tyson in The Hangover. I
Oh,
absolutely loved that movie. They worked so, like Neenan said, he worked so well with those actors, and he just played himself. Like he was the tough guy. They stole his tiger, and they had to go get it back.
Let me ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
Those are all really awesome picks. But did any of them combat racism in 1971 Virginia? Because you know who did?
Remember the Titans.
The Titans of TC Williams High.
I don't think you understood the prompt, Matt. And
I clearly understand the
No,
prompt.
you didn't, because it was supposed to be. Also, this will be the last time we see Blake Aloja. He picked Akron to win the MAC at Kent, on a Kent State show.
It's a betting. I got to win money. I can't lose money. And that's just it's
I
the
can't
easiest
lose money.
It's the easiest trick out there.
Man of integrity.
That's so good. Well, I mean, gosh, it's just funny to think about those players in terms of how they would actually do. Because Kevin Garnett in Uncut Gems, I love talking about Uncut Gems, because that's a movie I feel like people don't really talk about in the grand scheme of things. It's really good, and it also stresses you out. But Michael, I kind of wanted to hear your thoughts on that real quick before we go.
Stresses me out?
Well, it does for me.
I wouldn't say it stresses me out per se. I mean, maybe, to be fair, I was only, how old was I? I was 9 years old when that Celtics-Sixers series happened. By the way, the Sixers were an 8 seed. It never should have gone 7 games. The Celtics were just an elite defense, and they just had a terrible offense. So, you know, it ended up being kind of a close series for some reason. I think I would have had a heart attack if they lost to an 8 seed. But, you know, it's okay. They ended up winning the series. As for the movie, that must have been your original question. It didn't stress me out.
We are misinterpreting things left and right here. We're just doing our own things. We're on a sports show, and you're talking about this poor woman, Diane Warren. Can I ask what inspired this? Like,
It's an unreal stat.
Yeah.
Over 16
Okay.
of the Oscars.
Okay, to be fair, for the song that she was nominated with, she should have won. I mean, I'm not the biggest Amelia Perez fan. I'm an
Give it to
Amelia
her,
Perez hater.
2026.
That's what's up, Maddox. Anyways.
That'll do it
Yeah.
for this edition of Sports Corner. We
What he
thank you all
said.
so much for watching.
For updates from us 24/7, head over to KentWire.com, KentStater.com, and be sure to tune into Overtime right here every Friday at 7 p.m. I'm Liz Sharp.
And I'm Matt Corrali saying wherever the ball flies in the air, the Kent Stater Sports Network will be there.
Good night.
TC.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up, and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
I've always loved space and football. Growing up, some people told me I had to choose. But here's the deal. You can be great at more than one thing. And getting involved in STEM opens up your world to a universe of opportunities in life.
This is my time.
Get inspired and get involved today. There are STEM programs and science centers available in your community, so be sure to check out spaceforall.us to learn more and get started.
This is my time. There ain't no doubt in my mind.
Find your place in space.
This is my time.
Space for All.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cooked my favorite breakfast for